What up, yo? I'm gonna go like this for this video because I'm going to be talking about what animes I like and watch. And this will also be a manga I read list because a lot of the times I'll read them first, or I'll watch them and then I'll turn to reading them because basically after the first season for most of the manga I've watched at least, or I'm sorry, anime I've watched, they end up kind of going away from the real story. It's not a long list because I don't have that large of an exposure. When it gets down to it, you know, I stick to physical copies of things. I like physical copies more because I like being able to hold those things. So off the top of the dome, these are the ones I can think of: Rosario Vampire, Rosario Vampire 2, Capu 2. I've seen the manga. I've read the manga and seen the anime. FLCO, Furikuri. Just seen the anime. Naruto. Saw the anime for the first leg before it turns to Shippuden. I've read every single chapter of Naruto. Every single one. Period. That's just how it is. Bleach. I have to get back to watching. I think I'm 15 or something like that episodes in. I was in volume 20 or 30 something, and then being a person who didn't have the money to go and just buy the books, and not being the guy who wants to have a physical copy, I had to go to the library, but I have to start waiting for copies to come in, and then you kind of lose interest over time, and that's not a good thing because that's actually a really good series, and I like that series. But I kind of dripped out and stuff like that. I've read a couple Vampire Knight volumes. I'm not a person who's gonna stop art. You know, I don't care if it's for girls or for guys, demographic it's supposed to be for. If it's actually worth reading, I'll read it. So I've read some Vampire Knights. I've read all 14 volumes, English, not volumes because there's still 15, I think, and 16 that have to come to America, of Ottoman. I've read, dang it, what's it called? It's the Human Insect, I think, or the insects known as humans, something of that nature. The guy who made Astro Boy wrote a book, like a novel, an illustrated novel, and it's a very large book. I read that before I came to New York. On a less classic manga, I've read Scott Pilgrim multiple times because I can, because I love it. That's just what it is. I'm reading One Piece and watching. I'm at the Alabasta arc in both. I stopped congruently because I wanted to read and watch them at the same time so I could check to see what was the same, what was different, and just that's kind of the way it is for me. Baka to Test, both seasons, I actually have them with me right now because I love them that much. I will watch them. I'll probably watch them tonight now. That's all I can really think of right now. One of my favorite movies is Summer Wars, which is an animated film from Japan. I loved House vs. Moving Castle. I loved Spirited Away. I've seen bits of Inuyasha from when I was a kid. Dead Man Wonderland, didn't finish it. Want to, but at the same time, it takes time. It takes a lot of time to go and sit there and watch these things. And at the same time, it has to be able to pull your interest that much to where you'll put everything else down. And I'm not putting YouTube down for it at all. At the time I wasn't putting my gaming down because I wanted to go, and I was into Halo a lot. I was into League of Legends a lot, so I wanted to get those things up. I was also finishing Portal 2, which is not the greatest excuse, but hey, Portal 2 is an awesome game. Get it, play it, love it, learn it. Aperture Science is actually going to be it's going to be prominent in this in the videos. That's really all I can think of right now, and that's 5 minutes worth. I mean, I have an anime thing profile, so I'll put a description to that, and I'll put a link to that in the description. I love you guys. Cosmo out.